how to measure success.
Going under the idea of making the life of business people easier.
What part of human job is still not reduced?
The jobs are now.
You are fired.
No code naturally limits you.
What advice is to business that want to implement AI in their analytical life?
And that's where actually the most of the money actually lies. Take our product or take our team, it is going to work like magic, and it is not.
Hi guys, my name is Anton Voroniuk and I'm happy to see you in our GenAI Revolution podcast. Today I have my special guest, he is also Anton Vaisburd, and Anton will share with us how AI is changing the analytics world. Anton, hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks for having me first of all. Great to see you and great to talk to you today. So yeah, it's a great question, which we are hearing more and more, right? So, how AI is going to change our life overall. So I do think it's not going to be that dramatic change once overnight. I do think it's going to be step-by-step changes, and yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Probably.
Yeah, let's do it. You are Combinator alumni, so you are already have experience with your startup. Can you share a little bit more about Datrics? What is Datrics in simple words? So when you see your LinkedIn profile, it's definitely about non-code, but for a customer who is not analytical guy, who is just basic understanding of AI, what is Datrics?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm a CEO of Datrics. We've been in YC and Y Combinator almost 4 years ago, 3.5 actually. And since that, we are doing the company in the data and analytics space. Our last pivot or last change of what we're doing was not that also dramatic. We are still going under the idea of making the life of business people easier in terms of how they work with the data, how they work with the numbers, when they need the report, when they need the answer their questions or particular chart of how sales changed or how any kind of numbers changed or margins changed over the last quarters. The typical idea to do that is to ask either your analytics team or go to the pre-created BI dashboards. And what we're doing, we are trying to automate this. And from the very beginning of Datrics.
And who are your customers?
Our customers are... we have mid-sized enterprises, I would say, and we have growth stage startups, technology startups. So anybody who wants to automate analytics or automate, create agents that are doing analytics or answering the questions with different data sources, or doing the predictive analysis or behavioral analysis, and saying, hey, how my revenue may look like in this scenario or this scenario.
Okay.
Any of these enterprises, mid-sized enterprises, technology companies who want to embed it into their products are our customers, including TBI Bank, for example, in Europe, including Kraft, including so we have kind of on the large side of enterprises, but our sweet spot is mid-sized enterprises.
You told this magic word AI agent. This studio already visited AI marketers, AI SDRs, your AI analytical guy. How you can scale your AI analytical agent? So it's trainee, it's junior, it's middle, or you already created a top level?
It's a great question. And when we are talking about agents, we are talking about the possibility to do some part of the job. And I think the main difference between agent and typical SaaS software is very simple. Software is doing only software job. Agents are doing part of the people job. So we are basically going onto both software budgets and labor budgets, right? So we are saying that, hey, the very routine task. So we're starting from the very beginning, the routine task or very repetitive tasks. This could be automated, even without AI sometimes, right? Sometimes with no code, but where we started with data platforms overall. And it's not only about analytics. It's just about routine tasks automation, and it's on the market for 30 years. And right now we have the possibility and we have the technology to go step by step from this level to kind of automating the work of quite mature analysts, right? And we are not saying that, hey, the work of the people will be redundant, will be not needed. No, we are saying that, hey, the work of analysts is going to be creation of these agents or like interaction with this agent. So it's going to be interaction with like human analysts or like BI people or like data scientists or marketers, whatever, and like automated or like autonomous ones.
Can you name typical 5 tasks for Datrics? So what you told that AI agents, it's about small tasks. What typical 5 small tasks for analysts or for startup owner it can be solved?
Yeah, like give me the report for the last week of like sales reports for the last week, or like where is the weak spot in this report, or like where is like what are the factors that are we are seeing the reflection in the numbers for the dynamics of this group of like customers or that group of customers. As well, we have like a HR use case or like search use case. Then we have a lot of data sources like resumes, LinkedIn, CVs, blah, blah, blah. So the typical question is like, what are the best candidates for this vacancy? Or like, where do we have the most amount of like unfilled requests, or a lot of things like this, or build me the chart, or like prepare me some pivot table. So this kind of stuff you're doing like regularly. You're not
definitely.
And sometimes you're doing it in Excel. Sometimes you're like pinging the team, because sometimes it could be like it requires like a lot of analysis. But yeah, this things.
It's definitely clear. If we talk about concept of AI agent, I have in this year plan of my podcast the guy who is creating like Upwork for AI agents. And you can go there and hire your marketer, AI analyst, etc. in your AI team. What roles are still for people and what roles are still for other software? You told that you have just a small part of the puzzle. If we talk about the analytical team, what part of human job is still not reduced?
Look, I would say that any any creative expert would be not in the creative industry. The expert who is creative in his work is not somebody who we're going to automate. And it's always lacking a number of good experts, programmers, whoever on the market. So if you're like top notch, I don't think that like the jobs are now.
You're fired.
Be frankly speaking, as soon as you're doing very mundane or like routine tasks, this is probably like if you're doing some what we call it like a monkey job, right? It's probably going to be automated, and it's natural that we are starting from the tasks that humans think about it as a little bit annoying, or they don't like it, and that's where actually the most of the money actually lies. I don't think that like from a very small startup, right? We are like 20 people, not that small, but 20 people. So we cannot fulfill any role. So naturally you start trying to find like, if I need like marketing, I'm trying to try some AI tools in marketing. So all of these tools right now, for us at least, is like a supportive tools, and it's about like the interaction with these tools and making our job like more efficient, rather than saying, hey, I don't need you, you and you.
Yeah, it's clear. It's you already touched the question from my list. It's about AI automation and creativity, but it's an important question. How do you strike the balance between automating repetitive tasks and encouraging creativity? So how it can be balanced, or it's not, must not be balanced in AI world?
Look, I don't think that creativity is. So look, it's about the KPIs for particular tasks, right?
Sure.
If creativity is like the main driver for these tasks, probably you can start like and having what I usually do. I starting with like drafts for some either like letters or like whatever, or prototypes, and what I'm seeing is that every professional in our team is curious about the tools in their space. Like in UIs, they're using UIs. Sure. In marketing, in analytics, in like whatever, in creating the stuff. So I do think in any case, it's making it more efficient. So creativity is not losing in this case, but you can start with not from the zero, but from like 1 to get to 10, right? And this is probably what I'm seeing a lot. So at some point of time, we will have the job, like the full end-to-end, maybe not jobs, but or jobs as well, but very particular direction of the tasks will be fully automated. And then probably we can, it's as well a question about the KPIs and like how do you measure the performance? And
that will be the next question, yeah.
And in the agent, it's probably the hardest question to answer. How do you measure the performance? Because it's not like table versus table. You need to measure the quality of the answer, basically.
Yeah, definitely. You already touched the question about the KPIs. If we talk about AI, on the one hand, it's about optimizing, on the other about creation. And your part of AI is definitely about optimizing. Give me the digits, how you can measure the efficiency of Datrics implementation, any other AI analytics agent implementation, your clients' case studies. Give the digits, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, so we are seeing like at least like 30% of analytical work being like automated. It doesn't mean, one more time, that 30% of jobs are like reduced. It means that the team can do like much more with their time. So yeah, probably to answer this, I lost my thought.
Let's come back to metrics. Digits,
metrics. So basically, each use case, for example, financial use case has their own metrics. And for example, for HR use case, the precision is not that it's not that important, like for FP&A team or like for like your CFO will probably would be very pissed off if you send him wrong numbers or moreover send wrong numbers 2 times like in a row. So our use cases are very different, and the approach for them is quite different. So we have the particular on every step of the agent. It's like a chain of thoughts. We have the possibility to do the particular metrics when we're doing the tracking of the of this. But a lot of these things is also about creating the good guardrails, creating a good understanding that let's say it's that the agent is not going to be too creative in finance, right? Like, because we don't want this, but it might be too creative in like some other use cases. So our metrics or our KPIs are the same as like for the people and the same like roles for. So we are trying to optimize either like the precision or like quality or whatever it takes for different agents, because literally we are a platform to create these agents, right? So our goal is to provide the set of the tools so that these agents could be created and deployed very easily. And it could be about search of and match of the right resumes, working with like PDF, like a lot of PDF files, like your Notion or your database, or it could be about like having like one Excel and simulation with this Excel. So our goal is to give for analysts or developers who are the users, like who are power users of the tool, right? The tool set to set their own KPIs, to set their business metrics, and without like too deep knowledge of AI, then could create the agent that is responding to these challenges and give it to the in the hands of business people, marketing people, like financial manager or like HR manager.
What is the best feedback also in metrics from your clients? They've implemented Datrics and they got.
Like I still like think that, like, first of all, like we have literally we have a like CFO of the bank is using it, and I don't think that there are a lot of banks in the world overall who are using AI to create
it's kind of a bit vertical.
It's a hard vertical use case. Usually you're starting out from the so like that it is working and that we've made the dream come true. Like it was kind of the feedback that I will probably remember for all my life. But second one is the like, wow, it works. It's kind so it's not magic. It's not like and the good thing, good feedback when we are showing how it works, not only like, hey, it's a black box, but our goal is to provide the like step-by-step showing, hey, like this was taken from this data using these rules, and like here is your documentation. This is kind of how agent works if you need more details. And when it worked, like for the first time, customer was like, oh, it works, kind of. And it was like, so they wanted to try it out, and we're not big believers from the very beginning, but since then they're kind of using it every day, like daily. So the best feedback is like daily usage of the platform.
Okay. If you talk about Datrics, it's no-code solution, and most of my clients, and we are working with big brands, it's always about customer development, some custom solutions. If we talk for big banks, as you mentioned, pharmaceutical and so on, will no-code kill the custom development in this story, or they will live one by one during a long time?
Like I used to be like a data science leader, and when I started Datrics, my dream was, hey, can I like actually give the analysts who are not coding, like citizen developers or citizen analysts, citizen data scientists, the possibility to do what like my team is doing with a lot of efforts, like without like team of like 5, probably like 1 person do it. But since that, I realized that no code naturally limits you. Like it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It works for some of the use cases, and that's why we shifted to like low code. And I think this kind of stuff works really well, and it works well with custom development together, because you have kind of a box solution, then you can build on top of that, right? And we have the possibility to like literally you can put like Python code inside, like you can do a lot of, we're very flexible. So otherwise all the customers would be super suspicious about, hey, like what should we do, like if we need to change this or that. So I do think that low code platforms are kind of, and with conversational interfaces, low code platforms probably are much more developed right now, and that's why we're seeing a lot of interest to what we are doing. But I do think it's a very good instrument for custom development for the companies who are doing the consultancy or like doing system integrations or implementations, because it literally saves like 50-60% of the time and money for the customer. And it could be a competitive advantage, saying, hey, we will implement using this tool like 2 times cheaper.
Yeah, it's definitely. The personal question before we'll come back to AI. You mentioned you are a data scientist. At the same time, you are a classical, energetic startup founder. So you need to run, you need to sell, you need to boost. How these 2 guys can live in one person? How did you switch from data scientist, leading data scientist, I checked your LinkedIn profile before we started this recording, to the guy who founded startup?
Look, I do think like that founding the startup is probably where a lot of people ending up, because they cannot do another way. It's not about like being a data scientist or being a marketer. It's about like some kind of, it's not only about startup. It's probably founding any kind of business, right? Like you as the founder of the business, you know this stuff. It's not about like you want to be better than somebody or you want to be different. No, you just want to do it in this way. And later on, when you need to develop the company, the startup, I used to be data scientist. I'm not doing the hands-on work, but I understand a lot and I read a lot. Later on, you understand that you need to do a lot of functions. You cannot be like only do technical function. You somehow you need to do marketing. Somehow you need to understand how to do sales, and like. Actually, we have a new co-founder recently joined us, like Adam in the US, in addition to myself, Kirill and Vlad. So we have 4 co-founders who's like leading our business side right now. But you cannot found the company and say, hey, somebody else is going to do sales, or some like, hey, I will hire good marketing and like marketing person or marketing manager. We've tried, like from the very beginning, and they will do the work, right? Or you can hire like a good CFO, right, from the very beginning, who will do the work, because you need to understand the process, you need to trust the process, and you need to drive this direction. And That's why founders is just wearing many hats. That's what I think about that.
Let's come back a little bit to AI and your journey. If you talk about the story of data scientist, I also had like my master degree in Kyiv Polytechnical, physics and math and so on. And I remember when you are sitting and learning like these formulas, integrals, etc., and it's blowing your mind. It's one story, and there is another reality, modern AI, when you have ChatGPT and seems that everyone can go and make a prompt. What is your journey in the world of AI? So what is the minimum basis of classical data science knowledge the person in the modern life need? And what was your journey in this knowledge path?
So I will start probably from the middle of your question about like what is the minimum. I don't think it's the minimum knowledge you need. It's just probably work is going to be surpassed. Work is going to be done by somebody who knows AI at some point of time. Not by AI itself, but somebody who knows AI. So I don't think this is a minimum knowledge. There are a lot of happy people who don't know about AI at all. And they could be quite successful, quite
But
rich.
we are planning to change this, yeah?
Like that's probably... we are not going to make them...
we will make you to love this AI, yeah.
But yeah, I think like... AI became a modern word for like a number of techniques or number of assistants, and like probably ChatGPT created this era and OpenAI itself. But I've been doing AI
when it was not mainstream yet.
I don't know. I don't like this like this sentence, but yeah, that's kind of true. My question was like when I started my career was I was doing mathematics, classic mathematics, nationals, blah blah blah, and I was thinking, hey. Is there a way to apply this kind of knowledge? What should I do? Like I have, as you mentioned, all of this integrals, all of these theorems, all of this math. And like, where can I apply it? And then that's how I found like financial mathematics, and I've been working as a quant analyst or quant researcher, doing pricing of options, building risk scorecards. So it's been applying like machine learning techniques to financial data from the very beginning, and it was not that sexy this period of time. Still in finance and like on Wall Street, as you know, it was a lot of people who were quite good in doing that and applying it, and were quants were let's say on the higher pay grade, but it still was not a mainstream overall. It was like a few waves of AI or like machine learning. And when I was building like the data science consulting team within SoftServe, it was the first wave, and that's how we grew the team, because everybody wanted to try something out. Then was like lower expectations in terms of the outcomes, and it was a couple of years, and the people's attention shifted to blockchain. And then it was a new wave of AI. So I've been doing this for the last 12, 15 years, and actually it is the same math knowledge you're applying to the new problems. I do think that right now, at least I would recommend everybody to learn about the prompt engineering and what is possible. And there are always classic courses if you want to go like one step further. There are always classic courses about like Angie about like machine learning, and there on the other side there are a lot of AI for management, AI for marketing, which you probably can grasp a lot of things what's going on. But modern AI is like literally it's a couple of years is booming like the last couple of years, and you can actually, even if you're a researcher and you want to start doing with like working with AI, it's not like you need to work like 5 years to understand what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about the challenges. If we talk about the most of my client students that I talk about AI, the challenges are the same. First and the foremost, gather the data. It's always fuck ups with this stuff to make the data trustable, and just after that we can talk about AI, blah blah blah, etc. What challenges do you see? Are these stories actual for your clients you integrate with? What are the main challenges of AI in data analytics?
Yeah, look, we are still spending a lot of time educating. Like, there are two main challenges. One is what you're saying, and it is the same challenge that is implement in any other project. AI is like a number of techniques, right? Number of approaches. So sometimes you can implement the project without using AI.
Yeah.
But you still need to invest in readiness of the data, like AI readiness, project readiness, golden source of the data. And this is definitely a problem we are seeing. And a lot of people are trying to stop all the developments of this now. Like, actually, we recommend just going through like vertical use cases, because transformational projects like new warehouse or like putting all the data in the right way as you want to, they're never ending. It's a rolling project. So usually we recommend to start with the vertical use case, like small one, narrowed, which you know how to where to find the data and like go from A to Z. But data readiness and data prep, data ingestion, like this part is definitely, and usually it is probably 60-70% of the work. And we are very transparent with the customer that, hey, you need to invest here, but you need to invest here if like somebody is working with that, like some analyst, human analyst, AI work with that, you need to invest in that. And second challenge we are seeing sometimes when we are talking to C-level management, the AI is definitely on their agenda for a couple of years already, and either from the board or from CEO, it's definitely going as a big part of what should be implemented to be ahead of competition and so on. There are a lot of companies who came and promised like this silver bullet stuff, saying,
Magic.
Hey, like take our product or like take our team, it is going to work like magic. And it is not.
Yep.
Yeah, it's especially in AI and analytics and numbers, like data overall, like when you need to work with the data. We are not a big believers that it works from out of the box. It's not it is good for demos. Very good. And you can show your C-level really good demo from the very beginning. But as soon as you need to implement a company-wide use case, that's a lot of companies are struggling, and like CEO who've shown the demo saying, hey, you've shown me this working like 5 months ago, what's happening?
Why it doesn't work fast?
Why doesn't, so building the expectations and building the education about what is possible and what is not and how it is going to be implemented is like the challenge we're working on.
Let's talk about the ethics. This world is like around us. What are the main points of using AI and ethics for it?
Look, my position is a little bit controversial here. I don't think that ethics is that much a thing as we are hearing about that. Probably because there are definitely use cases when it's important, when it's needed, and I don't think it's
a lot of biases.
But and I don't think it's needed. But I do think we need to understand where we are using the AI first, and we should not start with regulations. We should start from something working, and that's what we are seeing. For example, like in the US, it's more on that side, and in
Europe is on another side. Less regulated.
I don't want to be rude here, but we are seeing a lot of regulations on the European side, and that's when I'm hearing a lot of discussions about like ethics or like regulations. It triggers me like, hey, like let's build something out and then think about how we should for this particular use case, how we should make sure that it works in the right way, rather than creating hundreds of policies to make sure that something in the future will need this. So that's like my couple of thoughts.
Now, let's talk a little bit about trends. What are the main industry trends you see for AI, for your tool, and for AI analytics? If we talk about the main trend, I definitely see for this year, it will be still AI agents. All my tools that I know, like just as SaaS right now, they are building and repositioning as AI agents. You've already done it. Congratulations. So what about trends?
So first round is putting AI in the name of your startup.
Yeah, it's for startuppers.
Yeah.
What about usual people?
I mean, I'm seeing kind of a push to use AI everywhere, and I think it's going to be a lot of misuse of AI. That's one trend which I'm seeing. Not kind of misuse in terms of like it's harmful, but in terms of it's like just not very helpful.
Yeah, but it's also about repositioning. For example, we are using with Google and Facebook tools like from 2017, Google and Facebook have the tools that has machine learning, a little bit of AI, and right now when they can we find something AI, they're just repositioning basic things like tools Advantage Plus on Facebook or other tools.
No, I definitely agree with that, and I think like this year is like actually last year it was year when the companies overall and in the products. When I'm saying companies or enterprises, it's the same as we are seeing in the products we are using, like applications or everyday life. It was more about like experimenting and putting it on innovation budgets. Right now it's more about putting it on implementation budgets. So this is a huge trend of implementing the agents, and I do think that we will see like magnitude more like agents in production and really working on our everyday life, both in digital space, like in coding, marketing, and in probably not that digital.
What do you mean when you talk about not digital?
Robotic automation is a thing for a lot of years, and now it can go probably on the next level, and we are seeing a lot of money going to like this industry is driven. All industries are driven by the amount of money that there, and right now we are seeing a lot of investments there. We are seeing more and more investments. Last statistics said it was like San Francisco and like Bay Area dominated overall investment landscape for like 57% of overall like investments done last year were done there. I do think it's going to consolidate even more, and I think that there's going to be a lot of consolidation on the market when like smaller companies going to be acquired by like larger ones who want to do. And I do think that we are going to see more. We will see some giants of the size of Alphabet or Meta.
What do you think about conferences? What conferences are talking about? We met in San Francisco in autumn. Right now, I've catch you just one day before the flight to US. You are going to US for, as I understand, a lot of conferences. What did you get from autumn conferences? What are the main AI trends, and what are you expecting to hear right now? Will it change?
First of all, thanks for having me and for the flexibility for this. I'm flying back to the US. I live in the US now, and like in Bay Area. I try to attend the conferences where like some innovations are shown, and it's good to attend the conferences in Bay Area, I would say, or like in Vegas. And I like attending some of the industry conferences because it's more about where the industry is going, and you're hearing something about both research side or some implementations of products that are not on the market yet, and you know like what to expect. That's kind of thing. So usually we are trying to present what we're doing on the conferences, right? We're trying to have either like a booth or like some pitch or something. There are a lot of conferences now, like huge. I don't like huge conferences because I find it personally for me as a founder, right? It's good for sales from sales perspective, but I find it less productive. And kind of last year we found the format of having like small dinners or like gatherings of like up to like 30, 40 people, and it was very, very productive for us. And we're trying to attend more and more. Like our CTO can go to meet to their CTO, like to other CTOs, like can do this. I can meet other CEOs, and so these kind of gatherings are super helpful. And depending on the goals, if it's leads or is it like partnerships, the conversions are really good for smaller ones.
Let's go to some practical stuff to like checklists. What advices to business that want to implement AI in their analytical life? So 1, 2, 3, let's go through this.
Yeah, so like first of all, don't try to say that, hey, like we're going to automate all analytics like from the very beginning. It's probably, you can start with that. You can probably burn millions of dollars, and it's like years of
We're
project.
talking about smaller business, so not millions, but let's burn thousands.
Yeah, I mean, it, like smaller businesses, larger business, it doesn't make sense to do saying, hey, I want to automate all. It makes sense to say to check what are problems, like where is the time spent, or where is the inefficiency, and then if you want, like most probably there are some AI tools like Datrics or other tools that can help with that, but it's definitely about finding the narrowed use case, not the like huge one that is we don't know the path to it. So like narrowing down the use cases is like a very first thing. Second thing is understanding like who is going to work on that in your team?
Sure.
Like is it going to be you personally, depending on the size of the business? Are you going to allocate some resources for that, or you want like to have like some box solutions and fully implemented by some vendor? This is a very different thing, and depending on this understanding, it's going to be like very different, both cost and like process of implementation. And then set up the very particular KPIs as you would set for the people, as you would set for any other project. Like what kind of result do you treat as a success? What is a success? How success look like? And this is it. In terms of this, like AI is not that different from any other like project driven by like executive or any other project, but probably
maybe there is some specific.
You mean specific in terms of data? Yeah. So any guy, like if you want to, like if you have like I would say 3, 4, 5 different data sets overall, kind of have a table with like P&L, like or like sources of data. You can automate pretty much answering the questions. I would not start with automating the decision making, but I would say like any kind of questions about what's going on, how it happens, it could be automated, and predictive analytics could be done. So kind of any kind of scenarios, what will happen if, or like please forecast me like sales for this line of products, or all of this stuff. So in terms of analytics, I would recommend to doing that. If your product's working with like not a huge amount of data, or it's definitely possible right now, and it doesn't require like years of implementation. It's probably like 1 to 2 weeks to do that.
Let's go from implementation of predictive analytics to practical solutions. So you don't like the phrase about that it was not mainstream yet, but yes, most of e-commerce, for example, they use fintech, etc. They use predictive analytics for 5, 10, 15 years, etc. What is the practical implementation of this knowledge?
First of all, like you can understand, like for example, the very very simple one,
scoring in financial, personalization in e-commerce, etc.
You understand the risks of the like how many, if you in very simple words, if you provide like 100 mortgages, how many and what percent of this is going to be returned? Like, so understanding this is like predictive analytics. Or like understanding, hey, I'm going to run promo campaign for this brand or for this. If I do the discount for 10%, how much, like how big like sales are going to be, and others, and how much the cannibalization will be. Like if you have a lot of sales here, how less it will sell in some other categories, or like how it will impact the market overall. So these are super practical things, and these are used by like, I would say that as soon as business understands like the value, and like for these use cases I've mentioned, the value is like very like, okay, implemented value, right? It's percent of revenue probably. They will find the possibility to implement it independently of AI, not AI, sexy or not sexy. That's why we are seeing this it's needed in quant analytics, or in financial analytics, in marketing analytics,
Sure.
with like leads, role.
You need the funnel.
Yeah, you need the funnel, and that's why it is used for years. Like probably it's going, like, interfaces are going to be easier, and it's going to be more.
I hope so.
Good example in marketing is, right, like how to manage the different like campaigns in automated, and it takes a lot of time of experts. And for smaller businesses, especially when the budget is not like hundreds, thousands, it's still an issue, right? So I do expect that there are going to be tools, I don't know, like Datrics, probably use cases for us that are going to help with this stuff.
What features do we need to wait from Datrics in this year? What's something new? What are the challenges that you want to answer in this year?
Yeah, so we just released actually text to SQL as a part of our bot. So meaning that you're asking the questions, and
I remember I didn't love SQL in university.
No. I don't want to say nobody, but it's kind of you have a huge database, and without the need to code anything, you can ask and receive some data.
Yeah.
So we kind of released best in the class right now, text to SQL, because we need it as a part of our, like, as a step for some of our agents. We are going to release search as a separate product. So search and match. Basically, we are seeing that it is a huge, it looks like everybody is working on that, but it's very typical problem, having a lot of like data, like documents, some PDFs, and some documentation like Notion or whatever.
Okay.
It's very typical use case.
That's typical, definitely.
To say, hey, what is, or like, how would I? And it requires like a lot, like so-called drag. It requires the putting it in the particular database, indexing, and the possibility to query. So our product is going to do it out of the box, saying, hey, connect this, connect that, and then you can tweak it, but here is it. So this is going to be a separate product, because we are seeing a lot of usage for that. And probably like much better visualization. So we're going to basically give the possibility to, like if you, for example, you're building the product, so it's going to be possible to match your styles, for example.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. These guys definitely will ask me about the results. So we talked a lot about the theory, but let's talk about real ROI, real client impact. Could you share a success story where Datrics significantly transformed the client operations? Where we've already talked, but I need some more details, because it's really important how to measure success. In your case, I understand how it's to do in marketing. You had the lead price like this, but with data, it's a complicated question. Help me.
Yeah, like it's always actually the question, and that's why I prefer to have some kind of success criteria from the very beginning. Let me provide like a couple of things. So 30% of efficiency, like 30% of efficiency with the on HR side, on like on all the amounts of questions asked, and you can imagine how many queries and how many discussions are there. So 30% of operational efficiency is kind of a huge amount of time saved. But probably what I'm most proud of some of the things we are like weekly sales reports are automated 100%. Like no manual work is needed. So it is literally in terms of ROI, it requires zero additional work to have these reports and do like the any kind of analysis based on this. So this is like 100% reduction in terms of the, but it's not, like one more time, it's not only about AI, right? It's about like data platform we have, about like data prep, and like chatbot or agent as a way to communicate with it, right? And to work with search agents, for example. So these are like probably two good examples. I can go, but
yeah, let's maybe if you have a couple goods, we can go and
probably like I will stop on that.
Okay, let's go to another questions. This
like
podcast
NDAs,
is
NDAs.
NDAs is a good thing. Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. This podcast gives me a possibility to talk with a lot of cool people who are in AI sphere, and if you talk about what I've got from them, a lot of them started pushing their teams to AI first solutions. So you have some task, how you can solve it with AI, how you can automate. Do you have this culture already in Datrics, and how do you implement it?
Yeah, it's actually it's supernatural in Datrics. I was thinking about how we can do some stuff, and we have this special channel in Slack when we're sharing with each other the tools we found, and with some of them we want to partner up because we are seeing some synergies, and also the natural way in a staff somebody is pitching you like 100 of these tools, and sometimes they're very interesting. So yeah, we have this culture in the company as well, and whenever we need to buy a new tool or like renew the subscriptions for the tool, or like pay for the hours or for some contractor, we are thinking, hey, is it possible to do it through AI, or is it possible to save us like some time or money with AI, or is it going to be possible in like 1 year or so? So we have
Can you give some examples? So some old tool, new tool, some old process, new process, at least 3.
Yeah, so like from the very like everybody who uses the like Superhuman, which provides or like Spark basically like this. But the idea for email clients is that they can do really good drafts for you, and you can chat with your applications with your previous kind of like dialogues, and you don't need to go outside. So basically, it creates a draft. So you can rewrite something, you can change something. So it's very useful, and it saves a lot of time. Second example is the conversations. So we are using TimeOS. I've mentioned TimeOS in my like interviews or like messages so many times that probably I need to be introduced to them and like ask for referrals. But yeah, literally TimeOS is something we are using. Some of our investors, they recommended, and it gives you the transcript of your discussions. It joins your calls and it gives
AI assistant.
And you can also like ask the questions there, and you have the action items separately. So we use it a lot. Kind of there are a few more, but these are probably that I'm using personally a lot. There are like definitely for coding we are using it, and for probably it's more.
Which one for coding?
I won't like. I know that we use like 3 of them, but it's better to ask Kirill because he's the one who is the.
My developer friends say that ChatGPT is not the best coders.
For example, we are not agnostic, but we can use different LLMs under the hood of Datrics. So we are using we can use Claude, we can use Gemini, we can use ChatGPT. Like I mean, it's for us. It's like a part of
I think that it's an investor request to have not just OpenAI.
It's more about customer requests, frankly speaking, because sometimes OpenAI is not good for some of the policies of the customer, but Gemini is okay. Sometimes neither Gemini nor OpenAI good.
You need to Anthropic will help you.
No, actually, we need to deploy our custom LLMs, because they want to run fully locally. But there are like different levels of security, and that's another big thing we are doing, and big chunk of our discussions around the security of the solutions. So. I would say that on every part of the new process introduced, we are trying to think, hey, like we overall need to hire, or we need to what do we need to do to make it optimal having the particular tools on the market.
Sure.
And we are seeing that in the majority of cases we need to hire, but we can start with the tools and probably onboard the people already using the tools, and it is really helpful because it's actually about the culture, as you're saying. Like it's a culture of innovation, and probably like we're going to die if we're not going to adopt it by ourselves. By the way, and we are using like Datrics our both client, customer-facing teams and like core teams. We are using Datrics to to make sure that we're doing something people want rather than
to test your product is a good idea for startup. It's definitely it's a good definitely good idea. We talked a lot about business, about career, about how it helped. What did AI do for Anton as a regular person. So for me, it helps to tell fairy tales for my kids. It prepares me for triathlon, help me to learn Portuguese. How do you use AI in your personal
How's
life?
your Portuguese, basically?
Fala português muito.
Yeah, so it helps me in person. Like if we take business part aside fully, it actually I use it a lot in terms of cooking. Like I
you have your favorite recipes with ChatGPT, yeah?
I don't like my favorite recipes, but usually for me it's less about favorite recipes, but hey, I don't know how to do that.
Did you do this life hack that just to make a photo of your fridge and ask ChatGPT what I can
haven't.
cook? Yeah,
it's a good one. Yeah, I will try. But sometimes I'm asking about cooking, but also I'm asking about like my personal documents, like translations.
Translations regularly.
Something, for example, in Portugal, I'm not always understand what's in the legal documents, right? And I'm doing that. I'm doing it for summarization of a lot of stuff and like trying to have it, and sometimes for brainstorming and creating the brainstorming from the goals to how to achieve. And once I have a dream to create an art car for Burning Man, so I used it to do the design. So probably in a few years.
The question I ask everyone, your favorite top AI tools, and I will let you go.
So Datrics for sure.
It's a good answer for founder, who is the next?
Probably ChatGPT. I cannot say that it's better or worse than Claude or something, but it just was first, and from this perspective, I really love it. Yeah, kind of. Then and Superhuman AI. I use AI in Superhuman.
What are the regular tasks you solve with Superhuman?
As I mentioned, draft of the emails or draft of the replies, or actually I usually type a lot of stuff and I'll say, hey, do it in the normal way. And change I'm changing the tone of voice. I'm usually, as you know, sometimes you need to change what you initially stuff. Timer-S is the fourth one that I'm using, and for the fifth one, probably Claude. I would say probably Claude. Yeah.
In ChatGPT and Claude, do you use agents or you just use the basic interface?
No, I use the basic interface. I use paid basic interface.
My GPT is addicted. I have 50 or 40 my GPTs for each task.
I have a couple of them. But I do think it's going to evolve. I don't probably right now it's a good idea to revisit. It's a very good question because I haven't asked it myself, and I think it's a good idea to revisit these tools once in a quarter, once in 6 months, because I know about there are a lot of tools in the last half a year that
they evolutionize in each quarter.
Have you seen Replit, how they're coding stuff? So you literally can create the application and have it up and running. So it's it's not my favorite because I don't use it, but I really admire what they've created.
On the one hand, I was tired with this stuff in our digital marketing field. We are teaching digital marketing for 12 years, and each time Google or Facebook change something in interface, you need to go and re-record. Right now with AI, it's even more complicated because each quarter you have some major update, you have new features, and you have new possibilities, and you need to be pretty fast and furious in this story.
Yeah, I think basically Facebook doing this intentionally, right? They're changing the UI all the time, right?
All the time, definitely. Anton, it was a great pleasure to have you. Guys, if you loved this interview, don't forget to ask questions to Anton. Anton, are you ready to answer this question?
Absolutely. Happy to answer the questions. And thanks for having me. Thanks for listening to this. And Anton, thanks for the invitation.
Thank you, guys. Don't forget to put like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you in the next GenAI Revolution podcast.